All right, so this is session 10 of Mutant Year Zero. If you're just joining us, that's great because I can't imagine that you would have watched the last 9 episodes. In any case, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is a online role-playing community. We do open table games, which means there's a sort of a sign-up process, and the cast can vary from session to session. This is a little bit of a longer game. It's kind of experiment with Mutant Year Zero running through this first quarter. I have returning players, and this cast is the same actually as last session, which is kind of cool given that they're coming back from a mission out into the zone. This is a game where we do use safety tools. We have the X card on the table. Just want to put that out there for everybody, especially if you have a strong opinion about that. Anyway, that's been a delightful week of discussion on those matters. So we're going to start out, and we've got our 4 characters. They have returned back last session. They were out in the zone. They found essentially a entertainment sector, a sort of Japanese theme park that had been taken over by robots that had decided to emulate that society there, and there were some tensions back and forth. They ended up talking down the boss of the robots and doing a wrestling match that allowed them essentially to go free. They also rescued a couple of genetically altered animals who had wandered through the zone and had come to the park and had been essentially captured by the robots. The whole story of that is kind of unclear. The animals have been a little unclear about that. They're a little hesitant. It is a squirrel named Bartok and an opossum named Lemieux. And they have numbers to them, but I'm just going to call them that. The group has returned back. They also got a turncoat robot that left the park and has come with them as well, who has some odd agenda. They know that, but they're bringing him along. So we're going to start out with that. Now, one of the things that Mutant Year Zero does in the playbook phase is each player chooses out an NPC that they care about and they want to protect. And this is the first time that our dog handler, Tark, will be back into the HQ, back into the Ark. So you have a choice. Your dog is obviously, you could have that as the NPC you want to protect, or we can give you some other names. What do you feel like? Do you want me to run down some other people for you?
Yeah, give me some good candidates. I was just looking at pictures, but I don't know the relationships and the roles.
Sure. I'll tell you the 3 that are on the table currently that our standard players have. One is you'll see the picture of Beira in there. Beira is a woman that the group found out in the zone, part of an enclave of survivors who had escaped from a place called the Pink, but they don't have any memory of what that was like. So they've escaped from there. They've come from there. Later on, another group apparently from that also arrived, and that was a whole another business that happened just before they left the Ark. But Beira has a daughter, a younger, as they put it, a small mutant, because she doesn't seem to be a mutant, but the people on the Ark don't know any better. And she has been protected by our good friend, our stalker Syntax, has kind of been looking out for her. So that's one NPC is being protected. Our gearhead, Neko, had a friend, Elon, who's one of the enforcers, who she had been protecting for a while, but now she's kind of looking out for a kind of down on his luck gearhead by the name of Arby, as an arbitrary, who got hopped up on glow-in-the-dark algae and has some problems. So that's who she's been protecting. And then finally, Obakai is protecting his boss, Brictoria, who is a boss who is a little more focused on hard work and maybe looking outside the colony. And then, of course, we had put in the fiction that you were part of Electra's gang, so that's another possibility that's on the table. Any of those appeal, or your dog, of course?
Well, I think we'd already penned in the dog, so maybe just to keep things simple, we'll stick with Grip for right now.
Okay.
Until some disaster befalls him, like tends to happen, and then it'll be the next dog.
Yes. There will be a grieving period, though.
There will be a grieving period, and then I will realize, of course, that it was actually Fang that I was destined to love rather than Grip.
As for NPCs that people hate, there are a number of, how do I put this best, assholes in the colony that people do not care for. One of them is Orion. On the map, you'll see that there is like a portable oil rig that's kind of attached to the ship that is the character's arc. Orion runs that barge. He is one of the bosses. He's kind of a spiritualist, and he is despised by Obakai. He's kind of a manipulative boss, kind of keeps himself isolated, keeps stuff to himself, but has the good stuff from time to time. So people don't care for him. Another person that people don't care for is the enforcer Jonatz. There's a picture of him in the thing. He's just unpleasant. He has killed some people that the PCs care about in the past. He has deliberately gotten up in Syntax's face and threatened him. He's kind of an unpleasant fellow. Another one is the chronicler by the name of Azazel. I think I've got that name right this time. Azazel is kind of the senior most of the chroniclers, and it's very clear that the elder, the only old person in the arc, is going to die soon. I mean, that's sort of, people have been rumbling about that. And Azazel, as the senior most of the chroniclers and holders of information, has kind of positioning himself to maneuver to maybe take over or to gain more authority. Electra believes that Azazel was involved in the death of her boss, and that's how she, took her throne. Sherry, I can't remember which one you hate right now.
Carp Face.
Oh yes, that's right. And why don't you tell us about Carp Face? I did put a picture for him.
Oh, did you?
That's a great picture.
Yeah. He has that mask on to hide the fact that he has a fish sort of mouth.
So he's one of those group of people at the Ark that they're called, sort of politely, the drinkers. They've kind of decided that their path to greatness is to have more mutations. And they decided the way to do that was to drink the foul water that our Ark is sitting in, hoping that something will alter. And most of them just get sick and die. Carp Face, however, does seem to be getting stronger. He's just kind of creepy and follows any KO around sometimes.
Hey, Eddie KO. Hey, how you doing? Does that voice? That's the voice you hear. So that's another person that you could have as somebody you dislike intensely.
Well,
any of those appeal?
I have to say I looked at all the pictures real quick while you were doing the intro, and I immediately took a dislike to Jonatz just based on that picture that you threw up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do I need a reason to really dislike him other than the fact that he's wearing that god awful mask and carrying that fire axe?
Well, why do you think it is? Is it that your dog doesn't like him? Is it that you've had a run-in with him?
I think it's that he doesn't like Grip.
Doesn't like the dogs.
Doesn't like the dog, and And Grips may be a little scared of him.
Okay. Yeah, that mask would freak anybody out.
It's freaking me out. I'm just, sitting here in New Jersey.
Yes. So just to give you, Keith, a quick rundown. Of course, this is a giant ship, that probably like an oil or transport ship that was beached. It's sort of standing up, so the back end of it is actually up in the air. There is the foul water of the waterway below. The front end is on a set of sort of old ruined dockyards, and that sort of cutout section that you can see on the map there is in fact kind of an open and exposed to the air. There was, for a time, a set of algae eaters who were using that as a psychoactive drug. That's recently gotten broken up. There are several bosses. The bosses kind of control things. There's Victoria, who's down closest to the front end of the ship. There's Electra above that, Jahamond. And then as we get to the other end of the ship, there's the boss Marlot, who controls the sort of crossing over to where Orion is at. And then Delight. Delight controls the water filtration system. So that's his big thing. Where do you think Tark lays his head? Where front, down in the docks, another place? Where do you think that is?
No, I think he has a place close to the bow of the ship here, not too far from Electra's hut.
Okay.
Just so I can support my boss if, when the inevitable hostilities break out.
That makes sense to me. All right. Let me get this set then. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the fiction of the group coming back in a second. But before we do that, we're going to go to the projects. I'm going to pull up the ARC character sheet. And I'm going to talk about where we're at. So the ARC has 4 stats: food supply, culture, technology, and warfare. Right now, and those are kind of at levels. Essentially, the first level is 1 to 9. The next is 10 to 19, then 20 to 29, and so on. Right now, food supply has just over into level 2. Culture and technology are just kind of midway along level 1. And warfare is just short of level 3. The group was working on a museum. Essentially, they were kind of pulling all of the various signage and documentation from across the ship and putting it together to kind of build a center of perhaps literacy or at least information and signs. Because right now, the only people who have any kind of writing ability are the chroniclers. They're the only ones who can really read and write. But the museum is intended to build that up. And in order to have the museum move forward, people have to work on that. And they do that by rolling comprehend. So it's wits plus comprehend for that one. If you have a shovel, that's a tool that only costs 1 bullet. That gives you a gear die towards working on a project. And so what we do is we see who wants to go first, who wants to make their roll. We have them roll, and then we talk about what they did to help out with the project there. Does anyone have a decent comprehend that would like to start us out from that? Right now, we are at 2 points out of the 8 that are needed to complete this project.
I have 4 dice in it. If people want me to try.
I have
definitely
5.
Go for it.
So,
oh,
yeah. But yeah, Fraser, if you want to, I think we're going to need at least 2 people on this, right? It needs 8 points, and how many do we have?
Six more points to do it.
Cool.
6.
I have like 7 points, so
Yeah, but
Okay.
Actually, 8.
don't we want you to
Yeah. But I'm
do
just saying.
stuff last? Yeah.
So maybe I can make something for us? That sounds like a button.
Yeah.
We'll get it, hopefully. I have no confidence in this dice.
All right. Well, then why don't we have you begin, Obakai?
Sure thing.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Actually have 6 dice.
Oh, that's nice. So, Obakai, going into this, I look and see that you have 1 success towards this. You could push it, but you'll be at a disadvantage then, potentially, because you're definitely going to take at least 1 point of damage for the session then.
And this is wits.
Yes.
When would confusion come into play, other than just maxing out?
It'll reduce it, and then you'll have to take action in the game once we kind of get to the play to clear that out.
I'm actually going to push. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
All right. Ooh, holy cow. Unfortunately for me, that was a good choice. And it looks like Obakai got 3 successes. Obakai, what did you do towards, I mean, you have a pretty good comprehend. How did you contribute toward the building of this museum?
I think it's on the long trip throughout the zone, passing through these various areas, I was looking at all the different kinds of signs that were also out there and kind of like keeping a mental record of some of the words and symbols that I had seen. And maybe I'm able to, once I get back, kind of cross-reference that with the stuff around the ship and maybe kind of start getting a bit of a language or a common reference for that.
Okay, that seems good. Probably go into Silas's old bunk and find some of his paperworks as well. To draw on that, since he wandered out into the zone to his doom, potentially. Who wants to go next to make the next roll and get 3 successes and just finish this project out with no more further problem?
I can take a shot at it.
Okay.
Got a few dice to roll. I don't have a shovel, but
do you have bullets? You're more than welcome to spend a bullet to do that.
I need those bullets for other things.
Fair enough.
And it's I just want to make sure I've got it's skill, then attribute, then gear in the
Yeah.
All right, just make sure I got that.
And if you have nothing in it, you put a 0. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So that's 1 success.
I'm gonna push it.
Okay, let's see.
See what we got. That's 2 successes.
2
Nice.
successes, and one bit of confusion there. Kind of wear yourself out. What is it that Tark brings to the table? How does Tark contribute to the museum?
Tark has figured out, wandering through the zone, that sometimes there are words and symbols on signs and on pieces of paper and windows that match the words and symbols on grub that they scavenge up.
Mm.
And so he's put together that that those things relate to each other somehow. So he's managed to point out some of those relationships and say, basically you can say, look, when you see this sign in that building, you may find this kind of grub.
Oh, nice. I like that. That using the signs as indicators as training for people who go out into the zone. Nice. I like that. Who would like to try and finish this off? Is that you, Syntax?
Yeah.
Just need one. You can do it.
Oh, no. I did it.
Oh, damn it.
I'm a wiener.
That you are. So the exciting part here is that now you get to roll dice to see how much culture we get.
Oh dear.
Okay.
And technology.
Oh, we can let Sherry do that then.
Okay, Sherry. Well, Sherry actually can't roll because she's on a tablet there, so somebody else has to roll for her.
Okay. Well, then you roll pretty high, Lol. You're the win.
You really want me to roll that, do you? Okay.
Let's get the 6s out of the way, okay?
All right. So we get a D6 for culture and a D6 for technology. So I'm going to roll 1D6 here. Pull that up. So what is that?
I did it.
You people are terrible.
I gave the system.
So culture goes to 11. And then let's see where your tech goes. That little die
I have to get close to my microphone for this. I'm the real cyberpunk.
Oh, God. A 3, which will also take you to the next level. Yep, you go to 10.
Thank you, Lowell. Such a generous and benevolent GM.
Yeah, thanks.
So kind of you.
So let me talk about what that means for you when you make that sort of shift here in time. You also may have some artifacts that you want to turn in. I can check in with you after a bit, and don't forget that when you turn those in, they may raise some of these stats. Or you can hang on to them, which you're not supposed to do. So culture goes to the next level. Most of the people can read or write to a basic level. People are picking up stuff from having built the signs. And there's probably some form of cultural expression, like exhibition of scrap and artifacts, that kind of thing. Technology goes to the next level, and that is people have achieved a basic technical knowledge by collecting artifacts from the zone, studying them. Simple constructions such as mill or distillery can be built. So it has raised up those things for you.
So the last thing that puts us over is I come to work to build the museum, and I come wearing a shirt that I proudly bear to everyone that says, "Hooked on Phonics worked for me. I graduated."
And that's the key. That is the Rosetta Stone for the arc, then, as they put that together.
And we get the interstellar.
Any KO. So you can choose to start another project, or you can work on some things for the group.
So, in theory, I could try to do some repairs on gear that you guys have that's not in great shape. Ultimately, I could just make something new or improve something that we have. So I will open it up to you. I don't know what you guys have that might need repairs. I think the binoculars had a hard time, didn't they?
Yeah, the binoculars went down 2 ratings, and I have a little bit of a busted up katana, but that's not too big a deal. It went down by 1.
Okay. And how is your scrap axe doing, OB?
My scrap axe is doing well. I don't think I've lost anything there. My armor's 4 out of 6, and that's fine, so I'm good.
All right. Well, essentially, I would like to repair my nail gun. So I probably will do repairs. How do you want to work this, Lowell?
Well, I'll go ahead and roll for you. Okay. And here's what it is every success will allow you to completely repair an object.
Okay.
That's sort of how the system works. So let me put that little syntax into the thing. How many skill dice do you have with this?
I have, I'm doing repair.
Uh-huh.
I end up with 6.
6 with your
skill
trait.
dice.
Yeah. Okay. And your stat?
5.
And gear?
2.
2. Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm now about to roll for that. So right now, you have 3 successes, and 3 yellow dice are still up. 2 of them are successes. So there's only 3 of those dice that could cause problems. The 2 black dice for your gear haven't done anything, so they're not locked. But you've got 5 green dice that could possibly be benevolent.
I'll push it. I'll regret this, but I'll push it.
Okay, I'm going to push that button. All right. So you take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And you repair 5 items.
Yes.
That's a lot of items.
Yes. So that's the nail gun.
Okay.
The binoculars
Okay.
Your katana. Is there anything Tark, that you have?
I guess my armor could go up too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it would go up back to full.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
got one more then.
Yeah, so do you have anything, Tark, that you got damaged last time? You didn't take any equipment damage? Then I will essentially repair probably my scrap armor.
Okay. Let me briefly, before we move out of the projects, I want to talk about a couple of logistical things that I always kind of skip over, but I want to mention them in passing here. You guys all have temporary rot on your sheet.
Oh yeah.
Boo. You
Okay.
didn't have to remember that.
Bad
Well,
GM.
and you would have probably gotten rot coming back, but I don't want to worry about that. And we kind of didn't work through the rot process that once you have some rot, if you get more, then you actually roll to take damage. We're not going to worry about that right now. But I am going to worry about seeing whether you can clear that rot away. So what you do is for every temporary point of rot that you have, you're going to roll a die. And if you roll a 1 on any of those dice, it becomes a permanent point of rot. You mark it on your sheet.
I mark it. I have 1 permanent rot points.
Okay. Sherry, do you have any temporary rot?
You would know. You have my sheet there. You didn't mark it on this, so.
Let me check.
Do I smell really bad now or something?
Well, you tell me. What does it look like? What does the rot that sticks with you make you feel like?
Oh, maybe I just get a little bit more sickly permanently because I'm already, I think, a little bit sickly, but now I'm even more.
Sherry, you have 4 temporary rot.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Well, I would think that's what we all have, but that's.
Some people had their suits worked better than
Oh,
others.
that's right. My suit's never worked. Stupid suit.
So I'm going to roll 4d6 for you.
Yay.
Uh-oh.
You have 1 permanent rot, but the other 3 go away.
I must be missing at least 1. Okay, I'm good.
Okay. I have adjusted your sheet.
Thank you, Lowell. You're the most generous of GMs.
Most generous GMs wouldn't have made you guys roll that, but there we go.
Yes.
The other thing that I need someone to do is roll me a d6.
What is it for?
The number of people that died while you guys were gone.
Obi.
Okay.
This onus is on you. Oh shit. I meant Keith. I misspoke.
I was gonna volunteer the newbie, but fine.
Okay.
It's tradition.
It's tradition. It's the rite of passage. So yeah, so we're going to take back up. We'll assume that the conversation has gone on with Victoria, that we can do some of those things. We can flash to whatever you want in the meantime. What I would like to do is talk about some things that have gone on, sort of set the stage for the return. What's happened since you've been back or since you've been gone. And then do a once around, check in with everybody about what they're doing. Does that seem fair? Okay. So when you returned, of course, you would have parked your car across the river because you don't want people to know about it. You came back. Electra took some of her gang and headed in. We'll talk about how you presented the 2 animals and the robot. We'll come back to that and we can discuss that. There's some upset when you guys get back to the Ark on that sort of next day. And when you head in, of course, you're talking to Victoria, and she will say, guys should be careful, keep your heads down. there's a lot of chaos right now. And she'll look at you, Syntax, and she'll say, your friend, the other stalker, came back and he's been watching over Bayra and Ellen, so nothing's wrong there. But last night, one of Marlotte's people, a guy named Pangu, walked up to her and emptied a scrap pistol into her face. And then shot himself, and I guess some of her people actually gunned him down as he was shooting himself. But Marlotte's dead. And there's a lot of, how do I put this? There's a lot of factions in among her gang about what's going on. Surprisingly, Orion hasn't taken advantage of it. He's been hunkered down on the rig for a while. But I can expect that there might be some pushes. Jahamid might push to take some of that pie. Electra might, but it'd be risky. Delight might. But you guys should be careful, because I know you've had some run-ins with some of our lot's people.
Now's the time to crush them.
So you've come back. We'll come to how things got settled. When we come back to the scene with you and AKO, a day or two later, you've heard about this chaos. You've got things settled in. What are you doing? Are any of the people that you brought back with you? What will we see?
I think that what you get with NEKO is that she's gone and she's worked out like areas of the ship that were a little deeper in that no one's picked because they're not sure about the lighting and stuff, but she's gotten better at what she's doing, so she's pretty sure that she can jury rig in some lighting for everyone. She's got things set up for the animals. They have a place to go. They can, kind of close their doors and lock themselves in if they're feeling insecure, and that there's exits out along other parts of the ship. Also for Rashomon, but also for those 6 people that walked in.
Yeah, they've actually they've gotten settled in the meantime,
good.
Since you guys have been gone.
Good. Okay.
The 5 that are out here are the ones still with Orion.
Oh, geez. Okay. That's annoying. Wait, what? Okay. Yeah. All right, then, as long as they're all settled in and they seem okay, I don't get any sense that they're being held against their will.
They seem to kind of to have spread out,
Okay.
like they've been around, and they've kind of found different places to settle in.
Okay, good. Perfect. Then I will make sure that our new buddies are all set up, and
I will say,
I guess work with Rashomon.
Yeah, that Lemieux, the opossum, is more than happy to kind of be on his own, and do whatever. Probably the Bartok is probably going to stick with Tark, because Tark has dog, Tark knows animals, the squirrels. It seems like he'd be more comfortable there. So that's what's going on that score.
That sounds perfect. Like I said, I'm just making sure they have a place to bolt back to.
Have you hidden Rashomon? Have you kind of covered him up, or do people know that you've got a robot with you?
That's a good question.
It is.
I'm thinking that he would have come back on the ship. We probably would have dressed him up in some crappy clothes that we found out there and brought him in the middle of the night. And so I don't think that it's like he's been out and about. We may have that conversation and stuff if that's what he wants to do. But right now he's not so much a secret as not a discussed thing. How's that?
And he will ask, so what is this going to be here? I mean, I gotta keep me hidden, or what's the deal?
What do you want to do?
Well, I obviously like to have a free run to look around the place.
Yeah. What for?
If I'm gonna stay here, I'd like to know where everything's at, and there's lots of humans. I haven't seen humans besides you.
Yeah, there are humans here. Okay. I mean, how about well, we can take a tour around and I'll show you what I know. Okay?
Oh, okay, that seems fair. Do I still have to wear this stuff?
No.
Okay. I prefer it. That sounds good.
Just get it all dirty.
I said I haven't seen anything here that's clean, so I don't know how you kind of make that judgment of what's dirty and what's not.
That sounds very judgy.
It is. It's very judgmental. I'm programmed for that.
Really?
A
Why?
little bit. Assessments have to have some discretionary processes.
So what were you programmed for? And she's just asking as she's going. It's not like she's super committed, but she does kind of turn back and look at him.
And you will note that again, when you push on him about what his programming is or what his purpose is, that's the point at which he wanders off into, ooh, look at this.
Very subtle. All right.
Yeah. Is there anybody you want to talk to or anything you want to do here in this scene?
I think that basically what I want to do is I definitely want to go and check on Arby and see how he's doing. I kind of tried to prop him up with some support network while I'm gone and stuff, but you just never know what you're walking into.
Where do you find him?
Well, I think that I probably asked the light to set him up with, not with the filtration gearheads, but with some of his other gearheads, just so there was someone who had an eye on him, but also to keep him busy. So I'm expecting that I'll be going to the far end of the ship to check on Arby.
And yeah, you'll head up there. Arby's there. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I've been. Things have been going.
Yeah? What you been working on?
I've been hunting down some plastics. Some of the other gearheads were looking for some colored plastics, so I've been going around and finding plastics. Plastics are big these days. Everybody's into plastics.
What are they using them for?
I don't know, but I know where to find stuff, so I've been stripping things out and finding it.
So most of you been scrapping for people?
Yeah, my hands is still shaky.
Oh. She goes, are you feeling better?
As long as I don't go down to the front, I'm okay. If I go down there, I start to get itchy.
Like nostalgia?
Yeah, it does say nostalgia.
Yeah, but itchy nostalgia. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, that stuff, you could see all kinds of things. When you took it, it was, it was something.
Anything that stuck with you?
I saw a lot of dead people. I was able to talk to them. They were talking to me. People that died, people we used to have around.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they tell you?
I don't remember. That's the thing, is I'm not on it now, so I can't remember what they said.
But it wasn't gear stuff, right?
No. Nobody's told me any gear stuff. I had to put all that myself together.
Exactly. That's what you're good at.
Okay. Well, it's been good. It's been better. I appreciate you checking in on me.
Well,
what's that?
this is Rashomon. He's a robot.
Hey. Okay. Like one of those things that killed those people a few years ago?
And I go, well, there's a lot of different kinds of robots. And I'll ask Rashomon, are you one of those that kills people?
Oh, no. Don't worry. I'm not a murderous robot at all.
Good. When you say it that way, it's harder to believe, though, Rashomon.
I know. I've been told that.
It's like your voice is made of sarcasm.
Eh.
I could reprogram that for you.
No, I don't think you could.
Just you wait. I laugh too and then go real serious.
And Arby watches this exchange and he's like, haha, okay. Goes back to his scrap pulling.
All right.
Let me cut from you over to Syntax. Syntax, where do we see you when you come back? You got some sweet new weapons. Everybody has some sweet new weapons.
It's true. I'd probably check in at home, make sure everything's good there.
Denko was the other stalker who is a friend of yours who watched over, and he's glad to see you back. He'll say some of those other newcomers have come around to talk to Ellen, but I didn't know what the deal was, so I haven't let him talk. I hope that's okay.
Mm-hmm. What newcomers?
Oh, it says Orion apparently caught a group of 6 like escapees from that pink place, and then there was this big blow up with the other gang member, with other like bosses, and he kept one of them and agreed to send the other 5 over here. So they've been on the ship for the last week or so.
Oh, do you think that they know Ellen?
They seem to know that somebody must have told them that there was another person from their place here, so that's why a couple of them came by and asked.
Interesting. Well, I think that if they want to see each other, that would be okay as long as they have protection. It would be interesting.
That makes sense. But my job's done.
Yeah.
So I'm walking away from you now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He goes, wait. Do you have 2 katanas now?
I don't have just one.
Asshole. And he walks away.
Interesting.
Ellen and Bear are there. Bear is glad to see you. Glad to see that you're back. Relieved because you've been gone for a while. And she'll say, "Did you find your friend Silas?"
No, I never found Silas. Who knows what became of Silas in the waste or in the zone?
In the zone?
Yeah.
You were out there for a while, huh? But you're okay?
Yeah. There was a couple of close calls, but we managed to get through.
And Pharaoh say, Ellen made something for you.
Oh, what is it?
And you can see that Ellen will come up maybe a little nervously, but she's taken a bunch of the different colored wires and has wound them together to make like a bracelet for you.
Oh, nice. I thank her for it, and I'll give her a bottle of something.
What do you give her? Booze?
No, I don't. I literally wrote a bottle of something. I don't think I ever filled it in. I think it was probably perfume. Maybe.
And actually, I think this is the hand soap that smelled like strawberries, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
She's like, and then she tries to taste it. She's like, oh.
Yeah, like that scene in Elf.
Are you supposed to drink it?
No, it's a cleaning thing to wash away the dirt.
Oh.
Your reward for such hard work.
She seems pleased that you have acknowledged her work.
Yeah.
Beira will say Denko was good, but he kind of kept us. I think you told him to protect us, and I think he interpreted that as keeping us here in the room.
Oh yeah, he's not super bright, but at least you're safe.
Fair enough.
Maybe you can. He was telling me about others that came from the pink. Would you like to see some of these people? Maybe it might jog your memories.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I haven't. I mean, not since the other survivors were killed by those people in the vehicles. Sure.
Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe I'll try to set something up, a meeting, but definitely want to guard them in case the pink people are aggressive or something.
Okay.
Maybe at the tavern, neutral ground, have a drink.
Okay. So you can certainly take her to the tavern, and you can get a couple of them to come. They're a little bit, some of them are about her age, maybe a little bit younger. Let's say you get a pair of them there, and there's a kind of conversation that goes on between them about, do they remember things? Do they, what do they know? I can't, what happened? All of that clearly they seems to be a real problem there. Can I have you though roll sense emotion? Because I know you're really good at that.
Uh-oh. I forgot to mention that Tark and the dog came along.
You did forget to mention that.
Yeah. Sense of emotion. So I don't have anything in it. So what do I do?
You roll your empathy.
Okay.
I know you have a pretty good empathy, right?
Sure. Does my scrap rifle allow me to empathize with people?
No, I don't think so.
I just can't get it.
So there's a discussion, and at some point, Ellen's like, "Okay, we have to go," and kind of, Beirut, we have to go, and kind of stands up, and takes Ellen, and they go to leave, and everything seems fine to you. I mean, she doesn't talk to you for a while, but that's how people are. They don't.
Yeah.
They go quiet for a long time, and maybe they glare and seem upset. Yeah, that's how things happen.
They glare at me?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Like maybe you should have noticed something, and then they didn't, and she's worried about that, and so on. So yeah, but you don't pick up that the conversation that Beira did not care for it at the end, and she didn't like that you didn't pick up on that.
I mean, I am getting sicker over here. Why doesn't she care about me? Double-sided coin. The knife cuts.
Two ways. Fair enough. I'm going to cut from you over to Obakai. The katana cuts. But there's only one edge. But anyway. Obakai, you're back. This shit is going down.
Yeah. So I think I would like to, one, check in with Victoria, but two, I think I'd like to change the NPC that I'd like to protect to Lemieux. I think I have sort of an attachment for these animal-looking people, and I want to make sure they have, a safe place here. So I might bring Lemieux along, and I might also extend the invitation to Tark and Bartok if they would want to come and see if they want to get involved with this gang, this family, this community that will look after them.
Lemieux's like, there's a lot of pink skins around here. So, I mean, not like my pink skin, like unpleasantly pink. And then you got these discolorations and open seeping sores. So, I'll hang around with you. You don't look like you're like bleeding out every orifice like some of these other folks. So, yeah, I'll hang with you.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, right
no
on.
Bleeding.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah. So what do you do for fun around here?
Well, I like soaking in the pool. I like scrapping every once in a while. I could teach you how to use that knife a little better.
I can use a knife.
Okay, well, maybe you could prove it to me then.
Well, you want me to stab you? Because I'll stab a dude. Don't test me.
Well, not this kind of dude. All right, we'll go out. We're looking for someone for you to stab if you're really that itchy with the knife. But
but the pool thing sounds good. Is it got like a hot springs kind of thing? It's kind of warm. We had one of those. Oh, lay on your back, hang out. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's a little stinky, but you just plug up your nostrils and it's you're doing all right.
He goes. I'm an opossum. I can handle anything. Kind of honestly, I can eat.
Well then, I got to bring you to beat my boss. If you can handle anything, she's always looking for folks who can handle their business. And
you're trying to recruit me. I can tell.
Well, yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm not going to hide it.
Okay.
See, you're in a new place like this. I figure you could use some friends. Those people over there, they look out for people who look, like me and like you.
I see. So you're not very subtle.
I'm sorry.
Good. Okay. I like that. Okay. It's all good because I got that. Some people said that about me where I was, so I'm all good. Okay.
I hope I'm not.
And Victoria is intrigued, but after a couple minutes of talking to him, she's like, okay, yeah. And she'll turn, yeah. So you're gonna look after him, right?
Yeah, I'll make sure no one messes with him, just like I know you'd want. Yeah.
She goes, because he kind of reminds me of you, like sometimes he opens his mouth and he says stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you shouldn't be saying that to me.
Right, but you should see this guy use a knife.
Okay, well, if he's a skilled knife fighting whatever he is, that's cool.
And we might need some of those. I heard there was business going down with Marlotte's gang. Do you have anything you'd like me to get up to? I could bring my buddy over here.
We're still trying to figure out who's got control right now. We know that Jonats has a section of the gang, and then somebody else has control of the other half. But we're not sure what's going on. We would have expected people to have moved, or at least Orion, maybe Jahama. Jahama maybe just waiting to pick up the pieces.
Is that our plan too?
That's a ways out of our area. I mean, here's if you want to do something, there are going to be some people who are disenchanted up there, who are going to be at the margins. You know the tavern. Maybe you go hang around, see if you can peel off anybody.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure if Jonats is running the place over there, they'll be happy to leave.
Yeah, well, maybe you can find out who's ahead of the other group.
Sure thing. We're on it.
Okay.
No knives this time, buddy.
The worst.
Cool.
So a lot of what the possum says kind of goes over your head. A lot of what Lemieux says, but you have the sense that he was part of like some kind of organization fighting back against the people who were controlling the place they were at, so that they just made it out by the skin of their teeth. It's a little more than he gave you before, but he's still pretty thin with his description of things.
Well, I think I like the sounds of that. I identify with that for sure. So,
yeah, and what do you think the look is like when people see you walking around with Lemieux?
I think it's a lot of long looks for sure, but I'm returning them in equal measure. I'm making it known that I stand with this guy, and that if they were to mess with him, he'd have some backup.
you probably will get intercepted at some point by Azazel and some of the people, and they'll say, "Brother Obakai, Sister Obakai, Obakai, uh, this seems like a wonder."
A wonder.
Yes.
This is just some dude I found out in the zone.
Is he like us?
In some ways. He comes from a place far away. A place called the Valley.
It is imperative that we record these stories.
So you want like an interview? I could do that.
Yes. I would like to interview this person.
Maybe we could put it up in the museum to show other people the stories so that they understand that there's more folks out there like us.
That's certainly a thing that could happen.
Well, great. Over at the tavern, maybe?
I would prefer you come to the Chronicler's headquarters that I might have my parchment and writing implements to record this.
Well, you got drinks there, right?
I can certainly have water brought.
Lemieux's got more of a taste for the hard stuff.
Lemieux goes, yeah, whatever that means, the hard stuff. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I can arrange to have you boozed up as you need.
Yeah, just to loosen the tongue a little, get the good stories out of him. He's been a little cagey with me.
Oh, don't say cagey, he says.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. All right, it's a date.
And I'm going to cut away from that. Lemieux's like, I don't know about that dude.
Yeah, he's a bookhead. Yeah, there's lots of them around here. You'll get used to him.
Okay. Got lots of bookheads?
Yeah.
This seems like a bookhead place.
Yeah, it's turning into one. It's kind of weirding me out, but they're figuring it out. I kind of like it.
Fair enough. Tark, let me cut to you. Bartok, the smaller squirrel fellow, when you head off, kind of follows behind you. What do you think that is on your agenda when you get back from a trip like this?
Well, I want to go to my den and make sure, all my gear, such as it is still intact. I imagine I probably share it with another dog handler on Electra's crew, maybe.
Okay. What's their name?
Their name is Jonas. And I think that I'm really interested in figuring out what's going on in the wider world outside the Ark, and all sorts of things. So I do think I want to talk to Bartok.
When you get back to your bunks, let's one of Electra's lieutenants, the person that she left in command, is like, I'm glad you're back. Your bunkmate, the dog handler, passed away.
What?
Got sick. Apparently got a cut that got infected, and it went too bad. The sawbones came down and took the arm off, but he died. His dog is upset, and we haven't been able to get the body out of your rooms.
Because
the dog.
the dog. All right. Well, great. That guy owed me half a dozen bullets too. All right.
We hoped you'd be back soon. If it's too much, I mean, I can put a bullet in the dog's head. But
let me go and see what.
That's yeah. See, I was polite. I did not shoot the dog in the head.
Not much to ultimate measures here.
Fair enough.
So I'll head over there and Bartok. Grip here took a kind of a shine to you, but I don't know about this mutt.
Okay.
I want to keep your distance.
Sure. Hey, everything's cool. I'm not going to get in the way of dogs. Dogs have big jaws. They were canines. Canines actually work for the robots sometimes. I mean, I'm not a caninist, but I do like your dog, so it's all good. So I'll just kind of stay back there behind your knees.
Sure. I just don't want you to get hurt or anything, I guess.
Well, I don't want to get hurt either.
All right.
There were two of us. And
So,
when you get back to your rooms, look in, and you will see there's clearly some bandages and stuff set up from when they were working on him. The body is laid out on the sort of mattress there, and the dog is just kind of seated down next to the body.
So, how does he react when I come into the room?
He just watches you.
Okay.
He knows who you are. He watches you go over to your area. He keeps his eyes on you.
All right. I'll go and I'll take my stuff. I'll put it down on my bunk. More or less like normal, and then I'll get down on the floor, like right down, at his level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll reach out my hand. I'll reach out my fist. Not stick my fingers out there for him to take a bite, but
okay.
I'll reach my fist out, and I think his dog's name was Topper.
Okay.
So I'll say, all right, Topper. It's had a rough time of it here, but Jonas ain't coming back. So I still got to sleep here. So and to be honest, this whole scene is it's a little bit what would the chroniclers call it? It's pathos. It's a little too much pathos going on here. So we're gonna have to, and I'll hold my hand out and try to get his, try to get him interested in me.
All right. I think I want to have you roll. Your sick the dog skill with your empathy stat.
Okay. I think that my empathy stat is terrible.
I know. Do you have anything that would count, you think, as gear for this?
I think the piece of grub that I'm going to spend count as gear.
I'll give you a gear die then.
All right. Let's hope for the best here. Wow, that was really bad, but you know what? I am really gonna push it. Oh well. I think I'm about to get some more scars, maybe. I don't know.
So I think that you do take that damage on your strength rather than your empathy. So 1 point of that strength damage, and the dog bites at you. It gets mad. It bites at you, and it then backs up to the body and sets itself down again. And you think, gonna have to go away. Gonna have to come back with another tactic, or move, or do something more drastic.
All All right. Well, I'm not okay with just shooting the dog, so maybe I'm just gonna need to give him some more time. Yeah, great advice, Syntax. Instead of getting bitten in the hand, I could get bitten in the throat that way. That's a brilliant idea.
And Electra's like, is it okay if I leave that in your hands? I mean,
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
okay. Um, there are mutants that have abilities to like put people to sleep and things. So if you need somebody to sedate the dog, we could probably do that. We have to. All right.
All right, I'll figure something out.
Okay. Lemieux is like, hey, it's okay. Kind of, pats you on the arm. He says that was good, but sometimes people get upset and they get stuck in their heads.
Yeah, I don't know. Squirrels and dogs aren't natural allies or anything, are they?
Oh God, no. No, I like your dog though, because you're right on about eye level there.
He likes you too. It's good.
Okay, all right, it's all good. All right. Well, I guess we'll find some place to sleep then.
What I'll need to do for the time being, at least.
Okay, I don't need much space. I'm kind of tiny. Get me just a box, something like that.
I don't think I want to sleep in here with Jonas's body. It's going to get ripe pretty soon.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Well, come on, Bartok. We'll scout out someplace.
He says, I heard there was a tavern.
Yeah, there's a tavern.
Well, maybe that should be a first stop for us.
You that thirsty? Sure, why not?
Okay.
I'm sure you won't draw any attention or anything. Let's go to the tavern.
Oh, okay. Wait, what? And I think we'll cut there for our 5-minute break, and we'll come back from that. And I'll probably hard frame the four of you together, if that's okay. Okay. So it seems to me the logical place to frame the four of you together again is some corner of the tavern.
Yeah, Beira's being mean to me.
That's the opening gambit from Syntax.
What do you mean mean? Did she hit you?
No, she just won't talk to me, and she stares at me like daggers.
Did she miss you?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
You.
And she was talking to these other people, and then that seemed to go fine. And then ever since then, she's been like,
Sometimes people say things with their eyes when they're not ready to say them with their words.
I mean, people that are mutants, am I right?
I know. So, anyone heard anything? Any big news after what's been going on lately?
Not I.
Well, I did just tell you about my problem.
Other people have news besides you, Syntax.
I take another drink.
Well. So you said you were meeting with some of those folks from Orion's place, right? Did they have anything to say?
Oh yeah, they talked.
Did they say anything about the one still missing?
Then she didn't tell me anything. Like I said, she's just all the time, right? She mad.
Did you ask her why?
How can you ask somebody when they're glaring at you?
You say, wait, why are you staring at me?
Well, it's hard to understand how to do these things. Like, usually all my problems are, solved with bullets.
Or stabbing, yeah.
Or bows and arrows, or katanas, or something.
Maybe you should say that. Like, listen, I can't stab you, so what's wrong?
Right.
Bartex might not go with that particular opening gambit there, but there's some wisdom to what's being said there.
Which part of it?
The not stabbing?
Oh, yeah. That's it.
I don't want to stab her, but she looks like she wants to stab me.
And you don't know why?
No, she talked to that person. Why doesn't she want to stab that person?
What
They're
did
the
they
ones that-
say?
Oh, no. I am not a translator.
So they were talking in a language you couldn't understand?
Basically.
Okay. Or they were talking about things you didn't know what they meant.
It's the same thing. Simile.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
I think you're just going to have to ask her straight out. Yeah.
Or
from-
maybe somebody overheard them speaking and we can ask them, and then I don't have to deal with my problem directly.
Oh. See, this is why I like dogs.
Well, just wait a little while. Your dog might start talking. Other animals do.
Excuse me. It doesn't work like that.
Would you like another glass of the booze?
I would
So pour for the squirrel.
Oh, say thank you.
To kind of go, so why is it that you can talk?
all of us could talk. There were different tribes, and we could all talk. That's how it was. When we saw other animals that were like us outside stuff, some of us, but they weren't us. I mean, I don't know how that works.
So did they talk or did they not talk?
Wait, the other animals outside?
Yeah.
Like, they were like a grip.
Okay. So I can't understand grip. Can you understand grip?
No.
Okay.
So you two are special.
Bartek goes, what do you mean?
Well, if the rest of them were more like Grip, and you're more like us...
No, you misunderstand. You misunderstand. In the valley, there were all kinds of tribes of animals like us. So there were squirrels, there were weasels, and so on. There were the different groupings, the different tribes. But sometimes we could see like birds in the trees, and we could sometimes see beyond the fence that there were animals that bore a similarity to us. But they were like Grip, but because I've met. There was a whole tribe of canines in the valley, and so they look like Grip, but they walked on 2 legs, not on 4.
And they talked?
Yes, yeah. We all talked. We all speak English.
Okay.
I think it would be... I know you said we don't want to go back to the valley, but I hate to think that there are so many more like you that are in harsh conditions in a prison. They should be here with us.
I appreciate the sentiment, but we were out in the zone for 3 weeks walking before we made it to the robot.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a ways away, and we didn't even want to go to the robots because because the robots are the people who keep us in place. But we had to because we thought they might have had food, and we're using the last of our grub. I don't want to go back there. Here's the thing is, some of the animals work for the robots, and most of the animal tribes don't get along with each other. We barely pulled together a little cell that could carry out a plan to escape. And even of those 12, there's just the 2 of us that are left.
Yes, but how do I get Bayra to talk to
me? Syntax, I think you need to spend a week with your sword in the sheath and talk to some people, okay? I've been trying to get you to open up, and every time you just head off out into the zone, and you gotta sit here and have a real conversation.
Why don't you ask some other people besides Bayra who interacted with these new people what they think of them? Maybe you can find out if it was them that upset her. It's like the plan you suggested a moment ago.
That's true. I look around, and if somebody was here, I yell at them to come over.
I assume that there's a bartender. What is the bartender's name, Syntax?
Gerald.
Gerald has kind of carapace but carapace plates, but he suffered a mutation, and now he's got kind of a puffy fur that's coming out from between the plates and has all kind of changed a brilliant shade of fuchsia. And he comes over and he's like, "Yes, Syntax, what you want?"
What did Bayra and those other people talk about?
I just heard they were asking her lots of questions.
What were
But,
the answers?
like, how much did she remember about where she was from? And she told them she didn't remember, and she asked if they knew anything, and they said they didn't remember anything. But they kept pressing her on how she got out. And they got a little aggressive in their questioning, and she started to not enjoy it. And then she came and got you because you were across the room not paying attention.
Aha!
Offside.
You should take notes from Gerald. He's a great listener.
That's why I'm the bartender.
Well,
Can I refill this street tea?
yeah. So I guess we have to go hurt these people.
Wait, what?
I mean, they got Bayra mad, and then Bayra got
Lemieux's
mad.
already standing up. He's got his knife. Bartok says, maybe not that.
Yeah. Maybe you should ask Bayra if she wants you to hurt those people.
And then we hurt them, right?
Maybe she wants you to. Yeah.
Mm,
That'd probably put you back in her good graces, right?
right. And then I repeat the exact same thing over again as if it was my own idea.
Ah, you are a charmer.
Look, she's learning.
Awesome.
I would be willing, by the way, I want to kind of cut away from that convo just briefly, since the guy got a pin in that. I think it'd be reasonable to use your reptilian powers to do that. And I know it says humanoid, but I think in our circumstances, this is a controlled one. If this were like a monster out in the zone or a wild beast, I don't think it'd work. But we're in a little more controlled environment, so you have a controlled and not a risky position.
That's Blades in the Dark talk.
Oh, sorry.
That's next quarter.
It's next quarter, yeah. So I just put that out there as a thing that you can do on that score.
Well, that score.
There we go. So we have the sense that Syntax is probably going to go and maybe have a conversation or not with Bayra. What about you, Nikeo? What do you want to do?
Well, I kind of had the sense that part of this is we were getting together to kind of talk about what was going on with Marlot's group after Marlot had been killed. Had we heard any story about what was up with the guy who shot her? Like, had they had problems?
You will go and kind of ask around and check it out. And most people are saying they don't know what happened. That Pangu had been fine, normal, enforcer. Not anybody like particularly outstanding. He was one of the people that was kind of in the background during the various throwdowns. But he apparently just walked in and opened up. Then a couple of the other enforcers managed to get up and draw and shoot him, Jonats and a couple of others. After he'd done that, even as he tried to kill himself, he ended up dead either way. The majority of people don't know what's going on, but they don't know why Pangu would have done this. There are a few people that, because people don't like Jonats, that are, and he happened to be on the scene, that are pointing the finger at him. Even though there were witnesses that he clearly didn't, shoot Marlot.
Okay. So I don't trust Jonats, but the whole thing with Pongo sounds like mind control or something to me. Just because a parasite. I've kind of, how should we say, experienced a few more of the mutations than other people have, so I have that sense of that.
Okay.
So I suppose one of the things is that if I get the sense that people are like from that group are concerned or they want someplace other than dealing with Jonats to go, I'll, essentially say, well, there's Victoria, there's Delight, and there's Electra. So there's places you can go to, and now's the time to make that choice if those are a better fit for you.
Do you think you want to do this as a role to see if you can get some people pulled over, or do you just want that for the fiction?
I guess I could do it as a role. I do want it to happen in the sense that my thing is just that I want people to be where they fit best, and Jonats is kind of a bad dude. Okay. So,
and certainly there are enough different groups to go on that it makes sense that you could go and look at some, and then eventually Obakai can do a similar thing since that makes sense.
Especially if they've got any gearheads that were among those groups, that would be.
So tell me what your empathy and manipulation are.
They're both 1.
Okay. Do you have any gear that you think would be an asset in this?
I have an awesome nail gun.
Don't think that's going to help.
Oh, darn it. No, I got booze. You know what I got? I got booze.
I'll give you a die for booze if you spend a
Sure.
booze.
Yeah.
Should I maybe? Sorry, sure. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I would share the booze with them.
Right. Should I, if I'm at some point attempting to do kind of the same thing, should I help with this role just to kind of get people away from Jonats and kind of put in a word for Victoria, or should this be a separate role?
Well, let's do it this way. Let's have you throw an extra die onto hers. And then when yours comes around, you can throw in she can throw an extra die onto yours. Does that seem fair?
Cool.
We can kind of focus in 2 different roles. Is that cool with you, Sherry?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. I could use all the help I can get, so sure.
Okay. I'm going to roll this roll then for your attempt. And you're going to end up with a success.
Yay!
So give me the name of a person, and we'll assume that a couple other people come with them, and what their sort of role is.
Okay. Let's see. How about Carbine?
Carbine.
And then another person that'll come with them is they call her Woozy. That's not her real name. If you try to read it, it's got some of those letters in it though. So.
And like essentially more tech savvy people.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So you can get a couple of them that are nervous because they think that the situation is going to explode. They're assuming Orion is going to mount some kind of attack, that Jonats is going to try and make example of people, that it's just going to, at some point, it's going to be a bloodbath there. So they're willing to peel off for you. Let's come back to you doing. Do you want to do the role for the same thing first, and then we'll come to Tark? Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I think we could just make it a quick thing. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it, and then hop over to Tark.
Okay.
So, help goes into skill dice. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And and it's manipulate.
Manipulate plus empathy.
Cool.
That's a decent set for you.
Yeah. All right, that's a success.
Absolutely. So you'll be able to get a couple more people. So, but actually more specifically pulled over to Victoria's, I assume.
Yeah. I'm at first it's just anti-Jonats. I'm just kind of like me and NEKO are going around kind of just like talking him down, saying all the awful things he's done and how he treats people, or at least that's what Obakai is adding into all of this, because they are not a fan of Jonats.
Okay. So give me a name, a key player in the group that you pull over.
Let's say that Her name is Jackal.
Okay.
She's pretty feisty. She's got some canines for sure. Like maybe her mutation is she's just got a bit of a distended jaw, sort of, and she's not too happy with how the leadership over there has been going. Maybe
probably not dug by a lot of people. She's probably one of those corpse eaters. That's a mutation that is super useful, but also kind of horrifying at the same time.
Cool.
So that seems like a fair thing. Does that seem cool?
Yeah, very cool.
Okay. So we come back to your conversation, Tark, with Obakai.
Yeah, so you got that. I've seen you do the thing with the, like, you know, like the I don't know what the right word is.
I don't know either. You said
eyes.
Yeah.
So, my flop, my guy I shared it with, he, I guess something happened to him while we were gone. I don't know. Guy didn't make it. He owes me money, but whatever. But his, you know, he was a dog handler, and his dog's not, he won't move out. He won't move on. He's kind of camped out there with the body. It's starting to smell. Thought maybe you could do that thing with the eyes we were just talking about, and maybe get the dog. I don't know if you could just confuse him enough where he won't bite me. I could get a hold of him and maybe get him out of there. But, or maybe you could, like, I don't know, put him to sleep or calm him down.
Yeah, I don't even know how it works really. I just I look at people all real intense, and then they say something goes weird with my eyes, and then I try not to do it often because it kind of freaks me out. But this will be no problem. I think I can at least calm them down or something. Then
let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
So head down there. Of course, Bartok is kind of following along behind because he wants to see what's going on. He is there with Grip. Guys will come in. The dog hackles kind of go up immediately when you come in, Obi, because he hasn't dealt with you. And if you want, you can spend the mutation point and use that power.
I will do that.
Okay. Then all you need to do is roll a d6 and not roll a 1.
Here we go. Okay.
You're fine. Absolutely fine. So what do you think that looks like? What happens?
I think I walk in, and I think the dog is kind of giving me, growling a little bit, and I kind of look quickly at Tark and just be like, is this okay? This dude's not going to attack me?
Got it.
All right. And I just drop down to all fours, and I just kind of like walk up close, like real alligator style. And I'm just kind of like, I think I'm, the dog's maybe growling a little bit, and I'm kind of growling too, but not in like a menacing way, just kind of like a low, kind of almost calming growl, almost hypnotizing. And then I think when the dog makes eye contact, I just kind of zone in a little bit and freeze, and the both of us just kind of freeze while we stare at each other.
And he's kind of held, and the dog's tired too, so there probably is a bit of a fainting goat moment where it kind of goes over and out, and a couple of people from Electros Things will come in real quick to help you out and get the body out of there.
Okay, so well, I'll suggest that we take the body and just get it out of the ark completely, or whatever we normally do with them, right? I don't know they go over the side or what.
Generally, put them in the water.
Yeah, and then while the dog is conked out, I'll scoop him up and I'll take him back down to the kennels, and I'll just put him with the other dogs in the kennels. So when he wakes up, he'll be with a bunch of dogs.
Okay.
I'll take a piece of Jonas's gear or clothing or something and tie it around his neck.
Okay. Bartok kind of helps out with this. He seems like he's intrigued with the whole process of this. He'll probably actually kind of stay to watch the dog when you're done. He says, I'll keep an eye on him to make sure everything goes okay.
Okay. Some of those dogs are a little, a little aggressive. You might want to, give them some space.
I'm faster than I look. And I look pretty fast, so it's all good.
Hey, Tark, you said this guy owes you money?
Yeah. He owes me like 2 dozen bullets.
Jeez, man. Maybe he's got maybe we can write up a will real quick. He's got some stuff around here. I mean, did he have a family?
Nobody has a family. Everybody's a family.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, I'm not one to loot the dead, but if he's got any good stuff, maybe he might have thought to pass it on to you. If you guys were close, I don't know.
Yeah, Electra will come by to gather up everything that's still here pretty quick. So we should, I should find that stuff that he owes me first.
Roll me a d6.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. So I will say that you can get 6 bullets out of his stuff there. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I'm flush all of a sudden.
Yeah. So let's cut back to NEKO.
All right. Next thing to do is to find out who the other person is that's competing against Jonats for some portion of the gang.
Okay. You will ask around, and
I'm a girl with booze.
That's
so
right.
That's
It is not that hard to find, and it is a little worrisome to you because you can see that the rest of the gang has kind of coalesced around Elon, because she's the other enforcer that has some powers, and she doesn't want to do it, and so they've kind of coalesced around her reluctance.
Okay. So about how long do I think I have before Jonats comes to cut her throat in the night?
Jonats is still submitting his authority, and he's a little more worried about Orion than he is about Elon. Once that gets settled out, he'll probably move and kill Elon and her people.
All right, then. I think I'm going to have to move faster than that.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. What are so I'm gonna have to scope out Jonat's habits right now when he's watching Orion. So I assume that he's got a certain amount of a patrol that he does to watch on things. I mean, he's used to doing a lot of that stuff himself. I can't imagine that he would stay back and wait for people to come to him because he thinks he's the smartest.
Let's have you roll Scout.
Let's have you roll Scout for me.
No, you roll Scout, lol.
No, you. My Scout is 1. My Wits is 5. I will borrow the binoculars.
How many dice do the binoculars give?
3, oddly enough.
Okay, let me get that number in. So I heard 1 Scout, 5 wits, and 3 gear. So right now you've got 2 successes, and if you re-roll, it will probably blow the binoculars up.
I will not re-roll then.
Okay. So you can see that Jonats is more leery because, like, Orion's not making any moves. There are some people moving around Orion's barge, but nobody coming back and forth. No big activity there. And his attention seems to be focused on that because he's not sure what's going on. So does that seem like a fair basic answer? And I'll say that you can get some strategic information about locations of watchers and watch posts and things.
Okay, sure.
And then I'll let you ask a question.
Do I get the impression that Jonatz thinks it's Orion that set this murder up?
Yeah. He doesn't know how, and he doesn't want to step too quickly in case somebody tries to do that. You actually see that Jonatz keeps a couple of people around him at all times, and he's very paranoid about the people that are around him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of gorgeous in some ways. Okay.
You also notice that one of those 5 survivors that came over, one of them seems to kind of have been taken up by Jonatz's crew.
Huh. Okay. What is this guy like?
Well, that's a whole nother role. We'll come back on that one. Let me cut from that info. Syntax, where do we find you when the camera comes back on you?
I guess I'll ask Bayra what's wrong. I'll like regurgitate exactly what I'm supposed to say.
I think you've spent the time. I think you've been in the quote unquote doghouse for a bit, and I think you've had your friends tell you, and so she will say, something wrong with those people. They kept coming back to asking me how I got out.
Well, how did they get out?
I asked them that, and they kind of dodged the question, and then they kind of asked me, like, I don't think they liked it that I got out. I don't know who they are, but there's something about them I don't like.
Do you think that they intend people harm?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about that place, so I don't know. I can't say, but I don't like them.
Well, maybe it's time that I talk to them.
Okay, but be careful.
I'll make sure that I won't be alone, but obviously something's
maybe
up.
don't stab them first.
Yeah, not this time. Yeah, I've been learning.
Okay. Do you want to grab somebody and go and talk to them? Should we do that scene now, or you want me to cut?
Yeah, we can. Like, maybe.
Who do you want to grab?
Obi, maybe.
Okay. Obakai, Syntax comes to you.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Yes.
So I assume that the talking didn't go well, and now you need a little more forceful of an option.
So Bayra told me that these people seemed like they didn't like that she left. So maybe these people are here to, like, if they came from the Pink and they remember, and they don't want other people from the Pink to be here, I think they are hiding something.
So you want to go rough them up a little?
Well, I want them to speak, and if they want to do other things, then I've got your protection.
I'm impressed. You are learning.
I am learning. That's what I keep saying.
Well, you try to talk, and if you need me, I'll be behind you with a scrap axe.
Yeah, and I take 3 steps, and then I turn and I'm like, do you think that we need any KO?
Nah, I got a knife. You don't need any KO.
This might be time for the knife. Lemieux's been practicing. He's good.
Right, but the talking part.
Yeah. Victoria told him earlier. Lemieux, you heard what she said, right?
Quiet.
Me too.
We got your back.
Okay. I guess we'll go then. I guess I was talked out of getting any KO, I think.
So do you want to try and find one of these people by themselves or a couple of them together? What's your intent here?
Yeah, maybe whoever was sort of leading the questioning of Beira.
There's a woman. She looks like she's maybe a little bit older than Beira. Again, because everybody on the arc is about the same age, you have a hard time judging age ranges.
Right.
You kind of approach her and she will recognize you from before, and she will say, "You're Syntax."
I am. Who are you?
My name is Mari.
Hello. And
We met before.
I'm simulating how I think conversation should go. Yes, it is good to meet you. And then I look over at Obi and I wink. Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay?
Oh yes, we were just asked by the elder who commands us to do things to ask you what
the elder commands you.
Well, he asks sternly, and we're nice people.
So you have an elder that leads you then.
So what? Maybe what do you have?
I don't remember.
It seemed like the way that you were speaking with Beira, you recalled some things, though. No. I sigh deeply, and Obi recognizes it as I have to cut a bitch soon, probably. Sigh.
Why don't you make a sense emotion roll?
Oh no. Okay.
I will even give you a bonus die because you brought assistance with you.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Should I help?
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's the help that he will get is from you.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's an extra skill die.
Woohoo. Okay, let's do it. I can do it for once in my life. I can sense emotion. I can feel it. Skill die. Now 1.
That phrase, we don't say that.
And this is a 2. Rough. And that would give me doubt. What does that mean? If I push?
Doubt. I mean, if you get to 0, that reduces your skill, and if you get to 0, it'll take you out.
You probably doubt your own ability to reasonably converse like a normal human being.
You have to go to the bar and cry into your drinks for a while.
I gotta push. Dang it!
So she seems normal, and you end up kind of doubting what Beira said, because she seemed perfectly normal to you. I don't see anything wrong with her. So maybe there's something wrong with Beira.
God damn it. This is going to be like an episode of Friends or something.
No one told you the aftermath was going to be like this. So you will, and she'll be like, oh, okay. And she says, well, I should probably go and talk to my friend. And she will go to head off. I do want to check in with Obakai. You see that syntax seems remarkably like, doesn't really read, doesn't pick up anything. It doesn't seem to between you two. Not sure what's going on.
And I know Bera, and I trusted Bera a lot from when I first met her and Ellen. And I didn't make the roll here, but I am naturally better at sense emotion than syntax. I wonder if I might just take a step forward and let out a low rumbling growl and see if that will.
No, I wouldn't let you do a sense of motion because your assist on him essentially takes that role. But if you have another tactic,
intimidate.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my natural response. If syntax looks to me like a little lost, like that's a sign for me to step in and do something. So I might just kind of clunk my axe on the ground and growl a little bit and see if I can scare them into saying something.
Let's have you roll intimidate.
All right. I can't see how this could possibly go wrong.
I do.
that's why that's why you're running the game, because you got the ideas of how to mess with us. All right, here. One.
You get a good intimidate, as I recall.
I got 1 intimidate, but I got 5 strength, so hopefully that'll do something for me. There it is.
So you do that, and you kind of lean in. I assume you kind of puff yourself up, right?
Yeah, I just kind of snap my metal jaw a little bit, let out a low growl, kind of, brush my wig out of my face.
And you do that. You lean in, and she goes, and she goes from scared to just quiet. And you're like, oh, what's going on here?
This usually works on people like.
So she's activated her sleeper agent James Bond profile thing. Do I have a thing? I don't want to totally hurt her or something. Maybe I stick the katana right beside her head.
And she draw the katana and you turn it, and she kind of looks at you and she says, there's a pink world. It's coming down.
What does that mean?
And we're going to cut from you. And we'll cut to you, Tark. You get the dog set up. You've cleared out that. You're flush with bullets. And you're over by the kennels after having done this, and you will hear there's clearly a kind of a commotion going on nearby, and you will see that Azazel and some of the other chroniclers are they've moved away from the chronicler's hut, and they're talking together, and they seem really upset and trying to stay out of whatever discussion they're having, trying to stay out of the side of anybody.
I'll try to I'll try to sneak up on them and eavesdrop.
Okay. You may use scout or sneak.
Let's see. Well, I think I will use sneak. Try to just slip up. I'll tell Grip to stay put for just a second, and I'll just try to slip up on him quiet-like. So
Grip haunches down, knows what it means to stay quiet, to stay in position. Two successes. He'll move up into position, and Azazel says, all right, we need to control this. If everyone finds out the elder's dead, then there's going to be chaos. And the other person says, he was fine earlier today. I don't know what's going on. And Azazel says, don't say anything. If someone has killed him, everything is going to blow up. No one can know. We need to do this. If we're all very careful, no one sees the elder for weeks at a time. We can simply say that he's sick. We can drag this out for a while. We can keep this situation calm. Are we all in agreement? No one is to say anything. And they all kind of nod to one another. And he turns to another one and goes, who was with him? And he goes, there was one of the servants, the slaves tending to him. She was in and out. When she came back in, he was dead. And Azazel says, all right, kill her. We should be able to keep everything quiet. And they all kind of agree, and then they go to head back to the Chronicler's hut.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'll go get Grip.
Okay.
And I'll head, come on, boy. Let's go back to our flop and pack up all our belongings. Who do I know? Who do I know that I could turn to for advice in a situation like this? Because I'm fine dealing with animals. I'm not really particularly happy dealing with people, and politics is just like totally. I don't understand it at all.
Electra.
Yeah, Electra.
Mm-hmm. Your boss?
My boss. That's the person that makes the most sense. All right. So, yeah, I'll go find Electra.
She's like, hey, I'm sorry. I sent in a couple guys. I had them wash down your rooms. It should be all clear there.
So, I heard something really big and really, dangerous.
Okay. Tell me.
And, how strong is our gang? How we stand here? Everybody's all riled up about Marlot and Orion and everything. Are we staying out of that? Are we
as much as we can? I mean, we don't. We took a big hit when my boss died and I took over. I mean, we're even smaller than Victoria's gang.
Who's our best ally?
Probably Victoria. I went to her for help. She's been at least decent with us.
Maybe we should think about talking to her.
Talking to her about what?
I'll lean in really close, and I just overheard some of the chroniclers talking, and the elder is dead.
Who was talking?
All of them. Or at least...
Azazel? Was Azazel there?
Azazel was there, and some of the other
motherfucker gonna put a fucking bullet in his goddamn head.
Well, see, this is exactly what they figured was going to happen, right? There was going to be, warfare.
You can see her torn.
Let it out.
She is torn between going and telling Victoria and going right now and putting a bullet in Azazel's head.
You really think that'd make it better? I'm not crazy about Azazel, but
You want to try and talk her down?
I am, but I'm gonna say I think we need to make sure we've got, we need to make sure you have your support.
I'm going to let you make an empathy sort of a manipulate roll. Okay. I'm going to give you a bonus die for position because you do have a good argument here.
Okay, so manipulate. And bonus die goes on skill?
Yep.
Oh, this is not going to go well.
Three dice ain't so bad. I believe.
Well, I'm gonna have to push it because, and so what? I make my best argument, and apparently it's not good enough.
Yeah, and you knew that Electra felt pretty passionately about the boss, the person who kind of had been her mentor. I mean, they're the same age, but had been her mentor. And that she really believes that Azazel is involved with this, and it runs deeper than you thought, and kind of like, oh boy, because she goes, you do what you have to, I'll do what I'm going to, and you see her go off to get some of the small handful of people who have guns in the gang. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to go look for any KO. She always seems to have a level head when this kind of craziness is going on.
Any KO, you're with Rashomon, kind of doing some stuff. Rashomon's helping you. He's willing to give you some tech stuff, because for him it's kind of like primitive monkey toys. Really? So he never says that explicitly, but he implies it.
I know. Someday I will reprogram you.
Not going to happen.
Gonna happen.
And Tark comes in and looks.
Whoa! What's wrong here?
I think my boss is gonna get herself or somebody else or a whole bunch of people killed.
Hey, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I wanted to talk to you about this. Have you seen those, that survivor?
Yeah.
Kind of something weird going on with them.
Well,
that whole Orion and Jonas thing, I think that might have something to do with that. Wait. Is that what you're talking about or something else?
I'm actually talking about something else.
Oh my God.
Is any KO on a gang? Are you do you have a boss that you're
It's because I get along with all the bosses. I mean, I'm pretty smart. I can do stuff. I kind of just ricochet between them. I don't stand still.
Okay. How do you feel about the Elder?
He kind of smells bad. Don't tell anyone I said that, but
he's actually about to start smelling a lot worse, apparently.
It gives you a look.
I overheard some of the Chroniclers talking, and apparently he's dead. And they're trying to keep it on the down low. And I told Electra, and she's going to go find Azazel and throw down.
Did he just pass away? Or did someone kill him?
I think someone killed him.
See.
They said it was one of the slaves.
One of the slaves?
They said they were gonna kill the servant that found him or that was with him when he died.
Oh no, they're gonna try to keep it secret, right? So they gotta kill her. I don't trust her.
Right. Yeah, no, they're trying to keep it secret.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, the way that the scholars are kind of... I wouldn't trust one, standing behind me at a scrap knife. Let's put it that way. Okay. So that's bad. And you said something about Electra?
Yeah, she got pretty hot when I told her, and she was rounding up a bunch of the guys to go and settle Azazel's hash.
Okay. Maybe Victoria can talk some sense into Electra. So you need to go talk to Obakai and Victoria.
All right.
Okay. And I am going to go see if I can find that slave before they gack her, because they aren't that efficient. Okay?
You okay by yourself? You don't need some backup?
Oh, boy.
It's going to get violent.
I know.
Do we know anybody that's good at violence?
I'll look back at Rashomon. Are you good at violence?
No, but you walk me around if you need me to go carry a message. I'd be glad to go and carry a message for you so I don't get involved in one of your, meat sack fights.
All right. Sure. And essentially, I'll give him a message. I'll ask him to go to Obi.
Uh-huh.
Tell him that he needs to go speak to Victoria, that Electra's going to go after Azazel because the Elder is dead and the scholars are trying to hide it.
Okay.
And Electra wants a piece of Azazel.
Okay. I think I've got all that.
Can you repeat it back to me?
Yes.
Will you please do that?
And he repeats it back to you verbatim.
Thank you. She gives him a little salute and heads off with Tark.
Okay. Let's cut back to you've got the knife to this woman and the throat, and she said this weird cryptic thing, and she's looking at you and Obakai.
I think I'm going to be very suspicious and look around to see if she's talking to somebody, and this is like a code word that activates a person in the shadows or something.
Nope, she's just standing there watching you.
Is it just her here or any of the other 5 with her?
You specifically said that you were just talking with one of them, so just her.
What is this pink?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Should I show you?
You could tell me what you're going to show me.
I will show you wonders.
Syntax.
And she opens her mouth, and I need both of you to make endure rolls.
God damn it. Like, I feel like I should stab her, but endure.
Always go with your gut.
Yeah.
Always go with your sword.
Follow your sword. That's my mother.
It's like follow your bliss, but with a sword. Nice, Obakai.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Endure 1. Let's see what happens.
Oh, nice pull on that second one. She opens up her mouth, and there's kind of a glow, and you'll see this pink glow kind of come out of her eyes at the same time, and it hits you squarely, Obakai. You kind of feel this pressure, like someone is kind of pushing your consciousness out, and you hold steady. Syntax, there is this moment when your consciousness is literally pushed out of your body, and you can see yourself in the scene, and you see your body start to turn and cock back to strike at Obakai. And you realize that Obakai will just be the first, that they'll probably go and kill Beira. And you push your way back into your body.
Chop off her head.
I don't think you need to roll.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to chop off her head as she's standing there, you can do that. Do you want to chop off her head?
Yeah, no more pushing my soul out.
Okay. Obakai kind of step back, and Syntax starts to turn to you, and then she flips back and cuts the head off this woman. And it rolls across the floor, and it rolls to the feet of Rashomon. Oh, hey. Bends down, picks the head up. Is this yours?
It's nobody's any longer, I suppose.
Did you feel that, Lemieux?
What are you talking about?
I look over at Syntax.
This creature had a very strange mutant power. For a moment, I was not myself. Thank God I recovered and chopped off her head.
Lemieux's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I think that was the pink, the glow in her eyes. What if they're all like that? What if they all have that power? What if they mean us harm?
What if?
Can I know you're in the middle of murdering people, but can I interrupt you for a sec?
Mm-hmm.
So Nikio has a message for you. Oh, for Obakai. You can do what you want, Syntax. Blah.
Oh.
And I think that's where we're going to stop.
Yeah.
We're at the 10:30 mark. Keith, can you join us next time?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether Tejas will be here or not, but even if he is, I want you to be back for this next bit, if you don't mind.
No, that'd be great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's do end of session experience, though.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I grew.
You grew as a person and a head chopper.
Yep.
He's already pretty formidable as a head chopper, so
yes.
Most of the growth was as a person.
Yes.
Most of it, yeah.
All right. Everyone gets a point for participating in the session.
Woohoo.
Everyone who performed a day's work on a project, 3 out of the 4 of you, will get an experience point. Sherry, did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy?
For Obakai? Gosh. While I would do anything for Obakai, he did not particularly need me this time. We helped each other out, but...
Okay.
I'd say that, you sent Rashomon with a confidential message across the area to kind of get me prepared for what was to come. That could be seen as risking something.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Especially because you don't know Rashomon. You know. I'll give you a point, Sherry.
Okay.
What about you, Syntax? Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy?
I don't think so. PC buddy any KO. I don't think I risked anything.
Sure. And don't forget, you can always change those PC buddies as you want to at end or beginning of sessions. What about you, Tark? Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy?
No. Syntax, no. Not this time around.
Obakai?
I don't know. I have NEKO as my PC buddy after our recent sort of adventures, and I don't.
No, I think you're probably gonna get that point next time, though.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
It's hard.
Sherry, did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe?
Oh Oh man. Well, I'm getting ready for the other one. Dang it. I will do anything for all kinds of people. No, arbitrary. I just had a nice chat with them. That's what I had. So.
I think syntax. I think we definitely give you a point for that.
Woohoo!
Tark, what about you?
No, grip was not really in any jeopardy.
Not yet.
I'm around. Not yet. That's about to change. I expect.
Obakai?
I guess I tried to get Lemieux into Victoria's gang, and I also walked the streets with him to try and show that I was with him, sort of.
I'll give you a point.
Thank you.
Sherry, did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with NPC you hate?
I came to the realization that I hate so many NPCs here.
Is Joe Nats your hate now as opposed to
It's
Cartface?
kind of like it switched at some point. Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a point for that.
Okay, just because he's going after Elon.
That's right. What about you, Syntax?
I believe the person I hate is Joe Nats.
Yeah, but you didn't have a chance to muck with him yet.
Nope.
Okay.
He'll be collateral damage in the war that comes.
Fair enough. And what about you, Tark?
No, I just figured out who he is.
Okay. And what about you, Obakai?
I don't think so. It's Orion, so we didn't see too much of him.
Okay. Sherry, anything towards your big dream? Anything that we kind of move towards that?
Well, one of my things is I want to build a safe place where I can invent and make stuff. And I did kind of work on forging that some sort of relationship with Rashomon so I can learn more stuff. And it comes at a price.
Sure. No, I'll give you a point.
Okay.
That seems
I
fair.
mean, essentially, there's a certain risk to that. So.
What about you, Syntax? Sacrifice or risk for your dream, or connect with your dream somehow? What do we see there, progress wise?
To find sanctuary for us. I don't know. I wanted to learn more and get to the bottom of the pink place and stuff, but I don't know if that counts.
Oh, I think it counts. I think you found some stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Tark, what's your big dream? What's your imagine for?
Explore the world and learn about how the different parts of the world fit together. I was hoping to learn something from Bartok and Lemieux.
I think you kind of did. I think in the tavern and stuff. So I'll give you a point for that. Obakai?
I'm not sure. It's the rise of Victoria is part of mine, and I think maybe convincing those people in the tavern to kind of switch sides that could have gone badly. But
yeah. No, I think that was risky because you could have certainly drawn the ire of some other factions there.
Cool.
And when you hit 5 points, you can get another level in a skill, or you can get a new talent. Talents are both for your role, and there's also general talents, and those are also in the folder online. So I think we're set. Is that cool? A good place for us to stop?
Sure.
Yeah. And we'll definitely take up with you for next time, assuming that nothing bad happens RSVP wise, and we'll see about getting whether Tejas is going to make it or not. I know he's had some issues with stuff, so we'll see. I'm going to stop the broadcast.